morning, everyone. My name is Miss Lauren, and today we're going to be talking about Matthew 13, verse 33.
In Matthew 13, verse 33, the Bible says, "He told them still another parable." Now this is Jesus talking. "The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough."
Wait, the kingdom of heaven is like yeast? What is yeast?
Yeast is an ingredient for bread making added to dough that causes it to grow or rise.
Let's take a look. That was incredible. Something so small like yeast working through all of that dough makes it grow and grow and grow. And Jesus is talking about the kingdom of heaven being like yeast, taking something that's so small but so mighty and making it into something that's amazing and maybe a little bit more delicious too. It's so amazing that something so small can also change something completely. The yeast in the dough made the dough grow and grow and grow to be something completely different than before. And that's what the kingdom of heaven does for anyone who experiences it. It makes them completely new, completely different. So I have a question, and maybe you can talk to your parents about this one too. How have you seen the kingdom of heaven be like yeast and dough? Now, let's actually see yeast in action. If you and your family want to do this, you can gather these ingredients and make your very own pizza dough. Now, this pizza recipe does make enough for 4 medium pizzas, so it's not a small recipe. First, you're going to need 7 cups of all-purpose flour, and a little bit more for dusting. 2.5 cups of water. Now this water needs to be a little bit on the warmer, hot side, but not boiling. 1.5 tablespoons kosher salt. You'll need 1 teaspoon of sugar. 1/4 cup semolina flour. That's going to be later for the baking. 6 tablespoons olive oil and more for greasing. 2 teaspoons active dried yeast. First, dissolve yeast and sugar in water and allow to bloom for 5 to 10 minutes. The longer that you let the yeast bloom, the longer the better. Next, mix the flour, salt, olive oil into a mixing bowl. Add the yeast, water, and sugar mixture to the flour and mix for 3 minutes. Next, you're going to knead the dough for 10 minutes. You can knead by hand or you can use a stand mixer for this. Next, add dough to a mixing bowl that's greased and let sit for 2 hours in a warm, dry place. Next, knead dough and cut into fourths. So make sure that you have 4 separate equal pieces. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to let those individual pieces proof for another hour. So let it sit and rise in a dry place. And finally, after all of this work, you're going to take one of your dough balls and slowly start to stretch it. You can use your hands, you can let it stretch and use gravity and stretch it down, but make sure that it doesn't tear or rip, because refolding it and re-kneading it is going to make it tighter and stiffer. And finally, once you've stretched out your amazing, delicious pizza crust, you're going to add your toppings and then bake your pizza at 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Here's one that we made the other day. It's delicious. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you learned a little bit about yeast and dough and the kingdom of heaven, and I hope you have really great conversation with your family about it over pizza.